Okay, so we're going to talk about a couple formulas. So a growth decay formula, it's going to say that the amount that you have after so much time is going to be AE to the RT. Now, little a, well, let's talk about capital A first. A of t, that's the amount that you have after time, whatever the time is, okay? So sometimes they'll do this with a population growth. So you started out with, 80 deer, remember? And it grew to 180 after so much time. So the amount after that time was 180. Okay. A is the initial amount. How much you're starting with. A lot of times you'll see it as A naught, A sub 0, just so that you're aware of that. E, that's what we just talked about. E is not a variable. It is approximately 2.72. It's a number, okay? R is going to be your rate of growth or decay. And I'll just tell you on this part, if R is greater than 0, it's growth. If R is less than 0, it's decay, okay? So if it's a negative number, it's going to be a decay situation. If it's a positive number, it's a growth situation. And then T is time. It doesn't have to be in years. It depends on the situation. So we're going to do a couple examples and you'll see that, okay? But it's some amount of time. Our continuous compound interest. So that formula looks like this. It says the amount that you have in your account is P e to the RT. Okay, so they write it that way a lot of times. I think your book has A of T, but that's fine. They just use the function notation. Sometimes we call it the Pert Formula. So this is when they're not compounding it monthly or daily. They're compounding it continuously. Now, when I was a kid, I remember banks having commercials that would say, we'll compound your interest continually. And it would show, the money just growing really fast. It turns out it's not often a really big difference. I mean, if you have like millions of dollars, it might make a big difference. But I don't see that so much with banks anymore doing that. But I mean, you could have a bank that does that. Okay, so P still represents the principal, the amount you're starting with. E is E, R is the rate of interest. And this T is in years. It's the time in years. So this formula is a little more specific. It has to do with earning interest in your account. Okay, so it's just a little bit more specific than the general growth and decay formula. Okay, so we're going to look at a couple examples of those.